Welcome to the Genealogy Happy Hour, a place where new family historians can learn to document their family histories and celebrate their new discoveries. I'm Amy.
And I'm Penny, and we're here to help you discover your family tree from the beginning.
Welcome to episode 69. Today, Penny and I will be discussing Ancestry DNA Matches. And Penny, you have a follow-up to some research that you've been working on. But before we get to that, what wine do we have?
So I've just got two wines I want to mention today. One, because it was hilarious. I mean, not hilarious, but super fun. Had these little sheep all over the label, and it was called Sheep Thrills.
Cute. Cute.
Oh, cute. And it's a Pecorino from Italy. It is a medium-bodied white with delicate floral aromas, fresh tropical fruit flavors, and lingering mineral notes. And it was very good. It was very good. And the other one I wanted to mention real quick is from a vineyard up here in, I guess it's in Flat Rock, North Carolina. I think is where it is. It's called the Mark Tree Vineyard. And the marked tree is a Cherokee thing that when they would plant trees, they would bend them to point the direction to go, to mark the path. So that's what this vineyard is named after. But it's their, and I know I'm going to butcher the name of this, but it's their Gruner Veltliner, or I don't know if Veltliner has a different pronunciation. But it is an award-winning wine for them, and it is. I've been up there twice now for a bottle of that. It's very good.
I was about to ask.
That's our wine.
You visited the vineyard.
Yeah, and I'll just go ahead and give you my update, everybody, because I know you've just been dying to know what's happening with this Anson Preston family.
Absolutely.
I have finally resolved that Anson Preston is the son of Jacob Preston, who went from Otsego, New York to DeKalb, New York. Anson also went from Otsego to DeKalb to Herman, New York to Findlay, Ohio. His two brothers went from DeKalb to Ohio and Indiana. So with a variety of land records that were sent to me and that I had researched with the help of the historian at the DeKalb Historical Society, and some very old emails he sent me from people that were researching the same thing. And I reached out to these people and made contact, and we shared some ideas and thoughts. I feel like with all these extraneous secondary sources, I've proved that line. So with that, very excited to say, with that, I can take Anson's wife, Estelle Wheeler, back to her grandfather, who has a pension, a Revolutionary War pension. So I can do another supplement if I so choose. And then on the other side of her line is Hastings, all back in New Hampshire, and he also was a patriot. So I've got two people I could further investigate and work on that. So I'm very happy to wrap up that side of my family.
So that's a brick wall that was solved with actually contacting the local historical society and looking in their files.
All the files he sent me, a lot of land records. And then plus I found some land records online too. Oh, just searching through those, the images on Family Search, where you had to go through one after another until you found the land record sources and whatnot. Yeah.
Wonderful. So brick wall solved.
Yay.
Awesome.
Happy for that one.
Good.
Absolutely.
Good researching. Good
and
job.
We did match up on DNA too. I matched up with these two ladies that I met with.
Good.
So that was good.
Oh, that's neat. And those emails were still good. That's great.
Yeah.
Very
Amazing.
Good. Amazing.
Yes.
All right. good. Congratulations. And when you said supplements, you meant Daughters of the American Revolution supplements.
Yes, I did. The DAR supplement. Yeah.
Good deal. Good. Well,
so what have you got? This DNA.
Speaking of DNA matches, well, a couple weeks ago, I was talking to a work colleague, and I work with a team of professional genealogists, so we're always talking about genealogy. But she told me that she had been contacted by a third cousin who lives in Wales because they had connected through their Welsh DNA matches on Ancestry DNA. And so that got me thinking a little bit about my German-born grandfather and his parents, particularly his Prussian-born, his mother, my Prussian-born great-grandmother. I only know the names of her parents and the place where they were from in Prussia. I got that from her marriage record. But I don't know anything else. I have been able to take my great-grandfather, her husband, back to the mid-1700s through German church records. But he was kind of born on, it was like the German-Prussian border, and he was born on the German side, and so it was those records were easily found. But on her side, not so much at the time that I was researching. So, and I had also connected with a fourth cousin in Germany. He lives in Munich, and he has an extensive online family tree. It's a private tree. You have to subscribe to it. But he contacted me, and but that's through my great-grandfather's line. It's not through the great-grandmother's line. So I thought, well, maybe I should go back to my DNA matches and just see who matches to this German line. I know that, there aren't a lot of Europeans who do the DNA. There's some privacy issues and other things. So I wasn't too hopeful, but I thought, well, just let me see if I can connect to anyone else that I don't know on these lines. So I went into my DNA matches and I did a search under surname in matches trees. And that's an option. And I put in their surname. So, and just for clarification here, both my great-grandfather and my great-grandmother both have the same surname. So they're going to come up that name's going to come up either way. And that's another question in this research is, are they related or how are they related? So I pulled up, so I just got the matches with this surname, and the surname is Awe, A-W-E. So I put that in, and after I eliminated all of my American cousins, who I all know, there were two, quote, distant family matches on Ancestry that indicated that we were between 5th and 8th cousins. And there was a 13th centimorgan in common, or less than 1% shared DNA. So according to Ancestry, this lowest level of shared DNA could indicate the match is a second cousin, a first cousin twice removed, a half first cousin once removed, a half great aunt or uncle, or a half great grandniece or grandnephew. But the most important thing to me was that both of these matches, these distant matches, had public trees. The first one only had 17 people in the tree, and the German immigrants on that tree looked like born in or from the Brandenburg area of Germany, which is in and around Berlin. My German ancestors are a little bit farther north in Mecklenburg-Vorpommern, which is called now. About 2 or 3 hours north of the Brandenburg area. So I went, and so that really didn't help me too much. There's only 17 people in that tree. However, the other tree had 1,700 people in it. And in that tree, the surname Awe, A-W-E, is spelled A-V-E, which is the German pronunciation. The German pronunciation of A-W-E is Ave. So that's how they had the name spelled on their tree. And there was an individual called William Ave who was born in 1849 in just, quote, Germany. But that birth year made him a possible sibling to either of my great-grandparents. So I said, well, this is curious. Let me go back to my tree and let me see if my great-grandfather had a sibling named William, which in fact he did. And so I guess I should tell you that my great-grandfather's name was Franz Awe. He was born in 1853 in Mecklenburg. At that time, it was the Duchy of Mecklenburg-Schwerin. And then he died in 1932 in Michigan. His wife, my great-grandmother, Johanna Awe, born Awe, was born in 1851 in Twiddlewitz in Prussia, and she died in Michigan in 1938. They both emigrated to the U.S. So the William that is on my match tree, he was born, like I said, in 1849, and he died in Illinois in 1930. So I'm going to call him Illinois William. And so I compared him to my great-grandfather's tree, Franz's tree, and Franz did have a younger brother named William, but he was 16 years younger than Illinois William. So this Illinois William could not have been Franz's brother. And so the other thing on that was that they did have a father for William on the match tree, and Illinois William's parents did not fit with my great-grandfather Franz's parents. So it didn't seem like he fit into my great-grandfather's family. The problem with my Prussian great-grandmother, Johanna Awe, is that I only know the name of one of her siblings, and his name was Johann Karl Friedrich Awe. And like I said, I do know their parents' names, which is how I matched them up, but I have never been able to find any other siblings for them. So I kind of felt stuck. So I started playing around with, how can these, we match DNA-wise, but this Illinois William doesn't fit into either of the trees that I have. So I started playing around going back into the German church records on Ancestry. And through those online church records with the parents' names and Illinois William's parents' names, I was able to connect Illinois William to my great-grandmother Johanna. And it turns out that Illinois William was Johanna's first cousin. Their fathers were brothers. And their grandfather was Joachim Hermann Awe, which is really cool because my grandfather was named Herman. So he probably got the name Herman from his grandfather, Johanna's father. So that makes me, let me see, so how do they relate to me? Hang on, I did that. So my match and I are actually fourth cousins.
Oh, look at that.
Based on that genealogy. So that was pretty cool. I still have some documentation to do on that, but I was able, just with that DNA match, looking at their tree and then doing some research on Ancestry, I was able then to take my great-grandmother's line back 2 more generations into the late 18th century.
That's fantastic.
So
that's fantastic. But doing that like backwards, yeah.
Yep, had to do it kind of backwards and
tracing.
Just figure out where they connected, and that worked. So I still don't know how the two families, my great-grandfather's family all and my great-grandmother's family all match yet, but they must, because they're all very, very close up there in that area. So
yeah, that's amazing. There's so many on, I'm just sitting here looking at my tree because we're recording remotely this month, DNA matches. And there's a lot that'll say, thank God they say father's side or mother's side. So if you're looking at a certain way, but that you have to go in and it will not have a common name. So you're going to have to go back on that person's tree and really search and try to figure it out, doing that backwards research.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good for you.
So
That's
yeah, that was
awesome.
exciting. That was exciting because I had kind of put that line on the back burner, thinking, Prussian. There's a lot of Prussian documents that were destroyed. I was talking to a researcher at the Family History Library when we went out to Roots Tech. Remember, many years ago, and they were like, "Yeah, Prussian research is really difficult. The records really aren't there." So I just didn't pursue it. So, and then literally within an hour or two, I had gone back two generations in that research.
Yeah.
So that was really cool.
Yeah, curious if anybody listening has done any research like this, going back on somebody else's tree to try to match you up. We'd love to hear about it. You could leave us a message on our social media or send us an email, genealogyhappyhour@gmail.com. We'd love to hear your story.
Thank you for listening. Please email us with any questions or comments at genealogyhappyhour@gmail.com.
Visit our website, www.genealogyhappyhour.com, for additional resources, books, and wines. Don't forget to drink responsibly
and never drink around genealogical documents.